Why does living in modern society, in India, I can talk about an Indian perspective, why does it feel like people have kind of lost their soul and there's less humanness and there's more of escaping and indulging and lack of real connections? Why? Why does one feel that they feel more human, in touch with reality, nature, with themselves, with others, connected when they're out traveling? I'm reading this really nice book which kind of talks about basic human needs. When they're not being fulfilled, we kind of live in a fearful place. That's something I'm going to be catering on in this video. This book that I'm reading currently is very gripping, very powerful. What are these other synonyms, words that I could use? I really like it. I can just say that, right? Very insightful. Deep, deep work of Abraham Maslow. Maslow is the guy who's considered as the pioneer of humanistic psychology. If you remember this chart that a lot of people have studied during their masters in business, or some other studies, hierarchy of needs, basic needs, etc., 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 and then at the end, spiritual needs and many other things for which you could just look at the chart. But I'm not talking about that. I'm going to be catering to some basic human needs that I read. I'm still reading this book, and I got to this part where Maslow is kind of talking about what's kind of missing in humans, in a sense that we're not able to have accomplished basic human needs, and humans don't require too much. It's not very complicating. So he talks about that they need a feeling of protection and safety, that being one, to be taken care of when they are young so that they feel safe. Second, they need a feeling of belongingness, some sort of tribe, group. In modern society, that's our family, but how modern societies are, there's a lack of it. Parents, elders generally are trying to, shape you in accordance to how they are or what they want to be, or the dreams they had for themselves, for you to accomplish that. And if that does not happen, so I'm talking about healthy relations, clan, groups, self-help groups in that sense. Third, they have to have a feeling that people have affection for them. Again, same thing, loving relationships, not just being there for the sake of it. Respect, being provided respect and esteem, self-esteem. Basically, respect to be there and being existed, and for your role as a community member. And one can talk about like psychological health when these certain things are kind of fulfilled, right? So first, being safety, being anxiety free, free of fear, belongingness. You have to belong to a group. Affection, you have to have people who like you. And finally, respect, you have to have some respect from people around you. Now Maslow kind of talks about that. You could say that the kinds of problems we have currently, the open troubles, not being able to resist alcohol. Now mind you, this is a book from 1970s. Maslow had written the manuscript, he died, had a heart attack, I think so, I may be wrong, 1971, 1972. And is when this book came out, that is 55, 56, 57 years since then. And he's talking about us losing connection with ourselves and calling these needs as vitamins, medicine for the body. He talks about, from an American perspective, there are all sorts of games cooked up to cover the truth, but the truth is that the average American citizen does not have a real friend in the world. Again, 56, 57 years ago, no social media. So you can imagine the state currently, right, where we seem to be very connected. Oh, what's your Instagram, what's your ID, etc. But how connected are you? How authentic are you with those individuals? Or are you carrying on a facade or trying to carry on the persona, the mask that they perceive you as, rather than being yourself, rather than unmasking yourself. So he talks about, you could say that the kinds of problems we have currently today, the open troubles, not being able to resist alcohol, not being able to resist drugs, not being able to resist crime, not being able to resist anything, that these are due to the lack of these basic psychological gratification of these four needs that I spoke about. And open troubles, now we have like the phone, we have the content through the phone, but basically this is what you would call minerals and vitamins for the soul, in one sense, for your psychological needs, for your psyche. And this is so largely true. I'm coming back to the society now of how I started the video, of this is what we've become. That's why societies are largely soulless. Modern societies, I would say, largely being impacted in the smaller cities as well, where the phone is kind of getting there, making them compete, making them reach something, mimic something diabolic, which is kind of shown in the mainstream media to ruin us in one way. Calculated attack on our psyche, on our soul. Cities, soulless. Why I say that again? For you, since I've named all of these four needs being gratified, do you think that these needs are being gratified in one's existence, one's life in today's time? Not hard to answer that. Look within as well, since in the city, are these needs being satiated? Right? I'm going to repeat them again. Being anxiety free, free of fear. Job, I guess the job does not make us feel like that, right? Whatever is happening around the world, constant news, certainly not making us, helping that out, right? New events. Second, belongingness. You have to belong to a group. What kind of group are we belonging to? Is it trying to match up with people unconsciously? That person has a car and I'm probably just figuring out my job situation right now, but I need to get a car. My credit card's gonna allow me to, and I'll pay the dues. So is that belongingness though? Going for those night outs where you don't enjoy drinking, but it's like you got to be a part of it. That's belongingness. You have to belong to a group just for the sake of that, right? Next, affection. You have to have people who like you, right? Or are you being needy there because, like, I need people, so I'm just going to be needy till the time the person just disappears? And finally, respect. So again, one has to question themselves and solid esteem. So again, they need to, for the last point as well, to question that. Again, they can fall back to the second point, where is the respect and the esteem coming from competing with others, being in that constant comparison, or trying to be in that same level, so-called, right? Is your worth basically proven by you trying to justify it to others? Is that how you're receiving self-esteem, self-respect as well? Normal respect and self-respect, two different things. Very important rather to work on that self-respect aspect, where you're treating yourself well, doing the right kind of things for yourself, right? And that's health. There's a good sign of psychological health which is correlating to making good habits, making good decisions, healthy decisions. That correlates really well with your psychological health. Again, in that sense, when I talk about, a lot of people might hear in this video, what's the solution? And since I've shared so much, what's the answer? We feel trapped. Again, the answer is basically nothing. It's like nothing. It's not a do this, do that, but it's more of a removal, right? You're in a great time of the year right now when things are starting to form habits, etc. Start afresh, totally new. To start removing rather than adding too many things in your plate, right? Start removing all the toxicity. Start removing. Start saying no, because many times those yeses those aren't even yours. So start saying no, and once you start saying no, you'll start understanding what you truly want to say yes to. And again, all these things that I spoke about, the troubles, the modern day troubles, which happen when your needs are not being gratified as addictions. Don't say that you don't have any power. Use your will. Delay gratification. Again, I'm also part of this journey, learning, have my own human flaws. So again, while I'm saying this, telling you this, I'm kind of reiterating all of it to myself as well. I will see you soon again. Take care.